Hey, Jeff Wegg here. If you have a Gen4 Ram 1500 and you want CarPlay, I think I've got the answer for you. The good folks at Junsun sent me a unit, and they didn't give me any restrictions. I can say whatever I want. And if you listen to my podcast, you know I'm not shy about saying bad things about products. This, however, is not a product I'll be saying bad things about.
So this is the radio that came with the truck. I mean, it's a fine radio. I've had much worse. But it doesn't do CarPlay, and it can't do CarPlay. There's no way you're going to get CarPlay onto this screen. So what options are there? Well, this is what Amazon has. It's this Junsun unit that they sent me. It's $189.99, which is pretty darn cheap, but it's $20 off right now, so that's even better. And that's what it looks like installed. It looks pretty darn good. No volume knob, but other than that, I like it. Now, if your rig looks like this, it's not going to fit. They might make one that fits. I don't know. The same is true for this one. If you have two buttons here instead of just one right there, then this isn't going to fit, and it's simply the shape. Now, my unit has the STL trim. That means it just has the normal buttons on the steering wheel. I don't have any kind of volume controls, so I won't be able to test that, but it is supposed to work. So there's the box, and right away I'm thinking, oh, look at all those wires. This is going to take a whole day or more to install. I'm going to be on the phone with customer service. But actually, no. Plug and play. No cut wires. Very cool. So let's go through the parts here. First part is this thing. This is just a speaker. I plugged it in. No sound has ever come out of it, but whatever. It's in there. This is a USB port that is on a cord that comes out, and this is another one. You need to install one of them, but the other one's optional. I'll talk about that in a second. This is the main wires. This goes to the harness in the vehicle. It also has the CAN bus unit. This is the optional CD player interface if you have one of those. This is the USB cable that connects to underneath your console so you can make these ports work. That's the antenna adapter. These wires let you hook up another camera, but I didn't need to. I just used the one that came with the truck. And these tools can help you with the install, but you don't really need them. Microphone, extra one, didn't need it, didn't use it, works fine without it. This is the GPS antenna. I plugged it in, but I don't need it because I'm using CarPlay. It does come with a couple of manuals. They're not terrible. They're not very big either. They're in decent English and easy to read. And it does come with this chart that shows you what all the wires are for, but honestly, I didn't refer to it once. Now, the installation, there are much better installation videos. Go find them on YouTube. But you basically undo those two Torx screws up there, peel off the rubber, undo the screws, and then just yank the whole dashboard off. I promise you, that's actually how it works. Those orange things are the clips that hold it in. Now, you're going to remove this entire radio. All those holes there have screws in them. Remove that radio and the screws. You're not going to reuse them. If you're going to sell that radio, put the screws with it. And then inside, you'll find all these black screws that hold the air conditioning vents on. And then you're going to undo the silver screws, and those hold on the air conditioning controls. And once you're done, boom, you've got this piece that you're not going to use again. That should be going with the radio. Now, there it is. You can see how it's the same shape. And if you look here, you see these three holes? That's where the air conditioning goes, right back in. You just put them in, put those silver screws back in, and that's it. You don't have to think about it again. And here's the real beauty. Everything just plugs in, and it only can go in the hole it goes into. You can't screw up. And you don't have to cut any wires. The only choice you have to make is whether you're going to use this cable to give you an extra USB port up front that you'll need to drill a hole for, or this mini USB port that will enable the ports that are underneath your armrest to work. You see there's two USB ports and the aux port. That's what will make that work. Now in the back here, you'll see the antenna ports right there, and then that red thing there, orange-red, that comes off, and that's where your GPS antenna goes. And these are my leftover parts. And then you just snap it back in, screw in those two screws at the top, and you're done. That's it. Fit and finish is pretty good. It isn't exactly the same kind of plastic, but I think it's pretty good. And it sticks out a little bit, but it's fine. I don't find it annoying at all. In fact, I find it kind of attractive. It certainly looks better than all the add-on ones with all the wires hanging out all over the place. And it's very sturdy. It doesn't move at all. It's not rattly or anything like that. So the first usage case here is if you don't use your phone at all. You can just use this as an Android tablet. Just hook it up to the internet somehow, and you have a fully functioning Android tablet right in your dashboard. Look, you can just watch YouTube, which I don't recommend you do, but if you are parked someplace and it's safe, hook up to Wi-Fi and you can watch YouTube in your car with no restrictions. It's just like being at home. Or you can go to the Play Store and download whatever apps you want. Again, it's an Android tablet. Nearly all apps are going to work with this, including those made just for using in your car. And then Google Maps, of course, is an option. Although there is a built-in Maps program. You don't even have to use Google Maps if you don't want to. And then, of course, you've got plain old Google. If you're like stuck and you need to look up something, like you've got an error code or whatever, you can type it in here and then boom, there it is. So that is pretty cool. And honestly, that's none of the reason I'm excited about this thing. That's just all bonus. So the settings work like any Android device. There's that fancy screen there, but after you get past that, it's the same as any Android device, standard interface. But it does have this special car interface here. If you had a CD player, you would use that. And weirdly, the air conditioning controls are all built in here. So if you have a fancier model with fancier air conditioning controls and somehow the knobs fit, you will find that the air conditioning controls can be controlled by the radio. And when you turn the knobs after you install this, you'll get this little display here that tells you what's going on, including the air temperature coming out. Now, if we go back into car settings, you'll see that you still have control over some features of your car that used to be controlled by the radio. Can watch video while drive? I recommend you turn that off. That is a law in all 50 states, I believe, so make sure that that is turned off. But there's tons of controls in here, and it's very complicated. There's also this little side thing that pops out. I think that's if you have 360 cameras, which my truck doesn't have, so I will just be ignoring that. But you can see if you back up here, it's still just like it always was. When you turn the steering wheel, the lines turn to show you where you're going, and it's just as good. It's just a bigger screen. Now, important note here, whenever you see Z-Link, that is CarPlay or Android Auto, and you want to select that. In fact, in the manual, it shows you how to do wireless CarPlay or wireless Android Auto. It is basically downloading the Z-Link app, and you just install it and forget about it. You're not going to use the app for anything. It just lets you connect. Now, these are all the themes you can have for the introductory screen. There's a ton of them. Just pick one you like, and know that if you swipe left, you will get to the standard Android icons, and you can do whatever you want. Back into car settings, you will see that you've got your display and sound. These are specific to the unit. Brightness is in here. Also, you can change the color of the buttons on the left here if you want them to match your dashboard. If LED animation is on, they pulse through the colors, or you can do your custom RGB colors here. Or if you're lazy and you just want to hit a color, you can hit blue or yellow or pink or whatever color that is, and it'll change the button colors. Now, sound has a lot of the things that you'd expect, but this is also where you set your volumes. For example, if you want your navigation volume to be louder so you don't miss anything, you can turn it up just by tapping a couple times. All those are set right in there. Now, there are factory settings, and the code to get in there is 6 zeros. That's important to remember. It is in the owner's manual, and this is where you can get in real trouble. You can break things in here, like you can change the model away from the Jeep, but this is where you update the software, which is very important. So I actually did update the software. There was an update available. I don't know what the Chinese symbols mean, but that's the version I get. I've sped this way up. This took maybe 20 minutes, so don't think this is this quick. Install success. It checks for an update and says, hey, you've already got the latest one. So the install worked, and I didn't notice any difference because I'm not that familiar with the thing yet, but now I have the latest version. I feel good about that. And then you can see there's all kinds of different options here. Under EQ info, there's your standard EQ, like in many cars. All that stuff is pretty obvious if you've ever used a car stereo before. And if you really want to get fancy, you can go into the DSP and totally program all the waveforms that you'd like. And you can see there's a ton of stuff going on here. Very, very complicated, but very, very powerful. Yes, there is a radio. There's a little radio icon, and you can see the radio here. It has all the normal radio stuff that you would expect to find. One good thing to note is that you can pull down from the top at any time and get to the settings and some basic features here. That is a normal Android thing, but very quick way to access stuff that's important. Now, I'm here for CarPlay. So this is how CarPlay looks and works, and it's just like it was from a factory. Regular old CarPlay, everything's exactly the same as on every other CarPlay device I've ever used, and it just works. It's great. There's no volume knob, but there are volume buttons, and they do work, and the controls are on the screen, and if you've ever used CarPlay before, you're going to be instantly at home as soon as you try this. And the pull down works here too, so if you need to get into Android settings really quickly, you don't even have to leave CarPlay. You can just do it from there. But if you want to get back to Android world, you can just hit Car. That will take you right back there. And you can just do all your Android stuff. But note that if you're connected with CarPlay, you do not have internet access to the Android interface. And if you try to start anything, you're going to get "You're offline," unfortunately. One little trick to know is this little Z-Link button here. You can move it anywhere you want, and as soon as you tap it, you're back into CarPlay or Android Auto if that's what you have installed. The power button is also the mute button, so if you tap it, it mutes. Untap it again to unmute, and if you hold it down, it will turn off the screen. And just tap it again to turn it back on. Not a big deal. And up top here, you've got mic and reset. If you stick something in the reset button, it will reset the unit. Don't do that with the microphone.
So there you have it. I am pretty happy with the thing, honestly. It fits well, it sounds good, it has all the features I want. It's maybe a little too complicated, it's not perfect, nothing ever is. But for the price, this is the easiest and best way to get CarPlay or Android Auto into your rig, in my opinion. So thanks to the folks at Junsun for sending this to me. I absolutely appreciate it, and I heartily recommend this thing. It's so much better than any of the add-on things with all the plugs and wires, and no, just get one of these. It's really not that hard to install.